Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 9 of Notes for Next Time, a laid-back talk show where we discuss everything that excites us within the world of pop culture. How you guys doing today?
Doing great.
I'm very good.
Yeah?
I'm okay.
It's good.
I
Just okay.
I just worked a 10-hour shift and my body hurts.
My body hurts too.
I had a fairly productive day at work, but thanks to my job, it only took me about 3.5 hours.
There you go.
Oh yeah, must be nice.
It's nice. But I can't talk about my job too much, or I'll probably get fired.
That's right. We all work, and that's that.
That's that. We have an action-packed show today. So many topics to talk about.
Can't wait to set off these fireworks that we got back here.
Yeah, we've got fireworks set up. You know, the room's
Confetti.
gonna transform.
Like in that video game you played.
Control.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just like Control.
This is the second eldest.
Have you seen-
oldest house?
There you go. Have any of you seen the Fast 9 trailer?
No.
No,
Dude,
we know you're.
Isn't
very
John Cena
excited.
in it?
Yeah,
I only saw like the character posters.
I've not seen any of these movies since like Tokyo Drift.
You're lost, man.
I know you love them,
No.
and I'm incredibly excited.
I like them enough.
It looks so ridiculous
Yeah, no, they are, for sure.
it looks so awesome though.
Yeah. Tokyo Drift was like, they're just completely different movies from like 4 and
4 or 5 on,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Yeah, it looks like so much fun.
yeah, they're dumb fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
I've not seen hardly any of them, but I'm probably going to go see this one.
I got them on Blu-ray.
You got all of them?
You have everything
no.
on Blu-ray.
I have too many Blu-rays. I have 8. So yeah, I think I have all of them.
Yeah, because this 9's the newer one.
Yeah, the last one Paul Walker was 7, right?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the big one where his brother finished the movie for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you seen any of the Fast and Furious movies?
Nope.
No. The first one's like, okay, they're all kind of cheesy, but
Yeah.
they're a lot of fun. At least
I
from
like fun movies.
1 to 2 is okay. Too Fast, Too Furious.
2's probably the worst.
Because that's when Vin Diesel was like, "I'm gonna go. I'll
yeah,
see you."
and then we had they are what they are.
Yeah, it looks cool though. I'm actually kind of now. I'm like, I should probably get caught up.
Yeah, you should. Hey man, if you want to marathon them, let's
Yeah,
do it.
I'm kind of in the mood now. I don't know when the new one comes out. Probably summer.
Yeah.
I should have. It's a 4-minute trailer.
Really?
Yeah, it's like 3 minutes and
That is a
48
long
seconds.
That's a
trailer.
lot.
And there's so much action in it that
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit. They must literally go like, hey man, those guys are over there. Let's kill them. And
Yeah.
they're like, all right, action scene.
I mean, pretty much.
And then they get done, and Dom's like, yo, we got to go kill these other people.
Yeah.
And then they do, or whatever.
Yeah.
It must be something crazy like that.
Yeah, it's fun. The Rock comes in, and his character is a blast.
Hobbs?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, it looks really fun and kind of want to see them now.
Yeah.
So, one of the big topics, though, that we're going to discuss today is video game movies. I don't know if you guys have heard, but the Uncharted film that's been in development hell for years now just lost its 6th director.
When do you just hang it up?
Now, I think now would be
Yeah.
the time.
Is that like
That's that's a sign.
That's the Hollywood rule. They're like, once you hit your 6th
Yeah.
director,
You got to fucking hang it
Yeah.
up at that point. I don't know why they keep trying to revive this dying dog.
Money.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, your argument of money is always
People
valid.
will-
that's the number one argument. is
Yeah, I
money.
mean it's an Uncharted movie. People will go see it. I mean the game is recognizable enough,
Yeah.
but just
My-
because it's a great game doesn't translate to a great movie.
Right. My thought is this. If you've just lost your 6th director, your script,
Clearly, the script
yeah.
is terrible.
it has to be, right?
terrible.
Because it can't be execs or producers being like,
Either that or like you can make the argument that like Sony it could be very hard to work with, but
well, they are. I think.
yeah, they've been known to kind of, but even
yeah, but you don't see every movie being backed by Sony losing director after director.
Yeah. At this point, I'm just like, can we kill this thing?
Yeah,
isn't Tom Holland?
He's supposed to be Drake, yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm like, cool, he's just going to be Spider-Man again. They're like such similar characters in
Yeah.
my mind because they're both
They're
quippy and funny, and
yeah.
I'm just like, we don't need him to do it because he could be the best actor in the world, and I don't know how he gives, unless they write him differently in the movie script,
Yeah.
which maybe they're trying to do that, and that's why they're having so much difficulty. I don't know, but it's like, hey, there's only so many differences you can have between Nathan Drake, a quippy action hero, and Spider-Man, who is also a quippy action hero.
Peter Parker.
Right. Peter Parker, who is practically Nathan Drake.
Yeah. Well, it's a shame because this could be like our generation's Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Because they're very similar IPs.
Yeah.
And yeah, for whatever reason, they're just
That's just not working.
6.
Not doing
I
it.
know.
That's a large number.
yeah 6. Yeah,
That's a very large number. And I'm just like, okay, like
3 is a lot for
Yeah.
a movie. You're like, oh, 1 didn't work out and they got another guy. That makes sense. Oh, they
Yeah.
lost him too. What's happening?
Yeah.
To do that 6 times.
something has to be up with the script.
Yeah.
Like the directors have to be bouncing because they're like, this just kind of blows.
Which is so weird because it's like you have the video game. Like the video games are based off narrative.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That should be. It's basically playable
You have
storyboards.
you have the script written for you in the game.
Now, granted, is it going to translate exactly the same? Probably not.
No.
But
That's another thing too, is like all of these games or game movies that attempt, and I have in my notes that they've gotten better,
Mhm.
because if you look at things like Detective Pikachu, which I've not seen but I've heard pretty good things about, which is technically a video game movie.
Mhm.
Sure.
And then the Tomb Raider from like with Alicia Vikander that
Yeah.
was like 2017, I think, or whatever. And that movie's not dreadful from what I
It's okay.
remember. Did you see it?
Mm-mm. But
Okay.
from what I've heard, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
Not
So they're getting better. So, but they're still not there yet. And I'm kind of the mindset where actually you could argue that like the best, and I haven't seen any of them. I'm just kind of going off of what they did culturally. You could argue that the best video game movies that we've gotten would be like the Jumanji films, like the
newer ones.
yeah, because they are like pretty much just video games turned to. We'll see how Free Guy does too, but
Which I was
mean-
surprised how many people I forget what I was watching, but they were all bashing Free Guy, and I was like, I don't know. I thought it looked like
is it already out?
fun. No, like the trailer.
The trailer.
they're
Okay.
not directly based on the movies. And these are where more movies turn to video games. I mean, you have James Bond. I mean, obviously the movie series is huge, but the games also were great. So,
Yeah. Well, a good handful of them were
Yeah.
pretty damn good. And then you had your clunkers too, but
the 007 Nightfire.
yeah, that's a classic. That's undisputed classic. I'm of the mindset, man, and to me it's like it made more sense when they were like, let's take Warcraft and make that a movie,
Yeah.
because the gameplay in and of itself is such a video game
Mhm.
that I feel like you could benefit from the film medium because you could approach it in a different way. But when you have something like Uncharted that is already and prides itself in being so close to a cinematic experience, what do you really stand to gain from just making it a movie outside of, oh, cool, this is cool because it's real action, or I'm sorry, live action. This is cool because it's this video game universe I know that's being respected on the big screen. But like, I'd argue that no matter how good the movie is, especially now that it loses its 6th director, it's not going to come out and be like, holy shit, you got to go see the Uncharted movie.
Yeah.
Hey, they're just trying to get it right. You never know.
Hey, if that's it, and they really just feel like
If they make a movie on their 7th director and it's great,
then hey, they've got a working
that's an
formula.
achievement.
Yeah.
Their formula is to go through 6 directors.
Yeah. Oh, they just had really bad. They had someone worse than Kathleen Kennedy in hiring directors, and they were just like, "Hey, the first 6 sucked, but that 7th man, he really
Nailed it.
nailed it." Yeah, I don't know. I just personally, I think video game movies, and we've been hearing about the Splinter Cell movie that has supposed to have been coming out with Tom Hardy, I think, as Sam Fisher. We've been hearing about that for years.
But I want all of his voice to be dubbed over by Michael Ironside.
Yeah.
Because he's the man.
Or, and this would never happen, because he doesn't fit the type physically, but, tell like an old man Logan story with Sam Fisher
really.
and just have Michael Ironside do it. But I don't, it'd probably be difficult.
I wonder what it is about video games translating into movies that just does not seem to... Is it the fact that the story for the video game is like 10, 20, 30 hours long?
Yes.
Or they have to try and boil down to a 2-hour story?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge part of it. And then you try to write your separate story to fit into the movie, and
they're
crap.
I mean, even like a lot of people are saying The Last of Us as a movie because it's such a cinematic game. It's still a story that's told over such a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you were saying, A Quiet Place Part 2 very much has like The Last of Us vibes.
Oh yeah, major influences. I think that he's like, it looks like he's like directly like, like unabashedly being like, hey, look, I like The Last of Us.
So it's like, could that work? Like, I don't know if it's you just need to go the route of try and find the most cinematic games IP and use those as movies, or just find an IP, strictly use it for namesake and kind of do your own thing. Yeah. Like if there was like The Division game, I know that was kind of rumored for a while.
The movie adaptation,
yeah. Or like a Call of Duty game, like just take the IP and then make a movie and kind of don't try and...
I think that's the biggest mistake that the people who take these projects and say, okay, hey, look, I'm going to make a movie out of this massively popular video gaming franchise, is they try to make the film like the game. Mm. And you can't do that, like even a little bit.
But if it's a Doom video game
and you need to have a first-person section where he blasts demons. No, but like take the concept, take the world, take the characters, even take the narrative if you want, but treat it as a film and a film alone. Like don't try to shoehorn in fan service that's like, you know, oh, look, she's carrying 2 pistols now because she's the Tomb Raider and that's what she does in the games. Like, fuck that shit. Just leave it. Don't do that. Just treat it as a film, because film is a different medium. And I'll also argue that they'll never work fully, because what these games are able to do, there is an emotional attachment when you play a game and you see it from beginning to end and you're there in it, that film can't do it.
It doesn't translate the same way.
Film can't do it. You're a passive watcher in film. You're seeing someone else's interpretation of a universe. You're watching someone else's experience. And you can interpret that and be along with the journey. And if a movie's done well, we hope that we are. But you are given agency when you play a game, freedom to make choices often. Even if it's a corridor shooter, you're given the choice to play that how you want.
Yeah.
With whatever weapons you want. It's as simple as that. So it's like, then if you go into these bigger games like a Mass Effect or like a Skyrim or a Witcher or whatever,
you get to literally mold the entire world around you.
Yeah,
depending on what you do.
Yeah, you literally direct the narrative. It's your story at that point. And that's such a different, almost more involved, more empowering experience than just watching a fun movie. And I love movies just as much as anyone else does, but they're just two totally different things. Yeah. So I think that they need to stop trying to maybe meld those experiences into something that's a little bit more, that is recognizable for marketing's sake, and just, hey, if I'm going to make a film from The Last of Us, which, why would you do that? But like, if I'm going to make a movie from The Last of Us, then you know what? I'm just going to direct it as a film. I'm not going to, you could have some nods in there, but again, I think anything that takes away from the fact that like, you can't have anything in there that's like, oh yeah, I remember that from the game, or like nothing too on the nose. You have to be very smart about it.
Yeah, it's weird because like you think narrative wise, it can totally be there and work. Like I know like one of the big scenes, spoilers for The Last of Us, is like the giraffe scene, and it's like that could be in a movie, and like that could totally be a cinematic movie scene. But I feel like a lot of it's just the editing, just breaking down such a long, active story into...
Sure.
But that shouldn't be a thing, because it's like...
And also, if you ever look at those, like, YouTube...
Go on.
Mm-hmm. If you look at those YouTube channels that do it all the time, like, they'll literally take cutscenes from games and make them into a 2-hour...
Yeah, like this, yeah.
So, like, if a basic editor on YouTube can kind of do that and do it somewhat effectively, then you can take a 30-hour story and cut it down.
Yeah.
I mean... That, to me, I think that you're right in a sense of like, when you cut that story down, depending on how the movie's paced and what actually happens in it, you feel like you've gone on less of a journey than you would in a 30-hour game. But that also goes back to my argument about how they're just different experiences.
Yeah.
And, when, like, take 1917, for example. Like, you really felt once you reached the climax and then the last part of that movie that you'd been on this journey with this guy. Mm-hmm. And that's because it was just paced so well. If it had been a game that was exactly that, would it have felt the same way? I don't know, because mentally you like expect something else from a game. But also, there's short games out there where you're like, fuck yeah, that was 3 hours, but man, that was a story.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think people, if they want to make a video game movie, you have to treat the movie like it's a film. You know, you have to get it right. Things that are said, dialogue wise and acting wise or whatever in a game doesn't always just translate to the silver screen unless you're in something like The Last of Us or GTA 5 or something where the writing is like Tarantino-esque and it can just transition seamlessly. But you've got to just treat it with respect and put the work into it. And maybe that's why there's been so many directors on the Uncharted film.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like Assassin's, like there's these. These video.
Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, I had so much hope for that movie. That first trailer, I was like, all right. And I guess I didn't even bother seeing it because I heard it was just no good. But it's just so weird. These video games have really strong narratives, and you'd think like you could make it one for one, but it just clearly is not the case.
Just takes a lot. It's like to taste that special sauce. Like nobody really knows. Like no one's really cracked it yet.
You just have to you might get lucky. You might get it right.
Yeah. Because take BioShock, for instance. What a movie that would be.
Yeah.
Like if you were to take that narrative, the underwater city of Rapture, what an incredible location.
Speaking of BioShock.
I know.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. But yeah.
I'm in the know too.
If Duncan didn't have mega fucking straws, I ordered a small, and all they had were these large ass straws.
I'm good.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for getting me a drink. I appreciate it.
You didn't reply.
No, you guys messaged me. I know.
We tried.
I was busy.
Second topic that we're going to transition into. Speaking of video game movies, kind of, but not really. A character that has had many video games based on him and his universe.
We're getting there.
Batman.
Boom.
The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, directed by Matt Reeves, has begun filming earlier last week or some.
I'm more excited than I have any right to be. I don't know what it is about Batman. I just get like anytime there's any form of Batman anything, I'm just like, yes.
Yeah.
Just that face.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
And the noise.
Obviously. Yeah, obviously the noise.
What do we want to see? What do we expect?
There's talks that it's going to be not like the Joker, but it's like, you would think that, I mean, I'm sure it's already in development and they're already filming, but like WB has to be like in DC is like Joker is so popular. Let's do more of that as opposed to what the Justice League turned into and trying to be Marvel-esque. And I mean, there's rumors that this is very detective heavy. This is supposed to take place in the 90s. People they were up in arms about having Twilight guy as Batman, which is the worst argument you can have.
He's a proven actor.
I was on Instagram just like scrolling through the Explorer and whatnot, and I got into some comments, and there were dudes with like their monster flat brims, like, I don't want Twilight dude playing, and I'm like,
who cares?
That was also how long ago?
Yeah.
10, 12 years?
Yeah.
Long time.
I don't know. I like, especially having The Dark Knight, which is like one of my favorite franchise trilogy, whatever you want to call it. And then having what the Justice League universe, DC universe gave me.
I'm rich.
Yeah, I so would prefer, like, I want grounded, especially because it's Batman, and Batman's a dude with like
the guy,
a lot of smarts and resources, and
well-connected guy.
I want grounded. I don't want like, if I want crazy popcorn fun, I can go see one of the 36 Marvel movies that'll be coming out next week. DC just needs to, I don't know. I like Batman, and I liked Ben Affleck's Batman. I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed what they did with the character for the most part.
I remember like when it was announced he was doing it, like we championed him. Like we were very excited about it. I thought he was going to be great. And then it just feels like his interpretation of the character, whether it's through the scripts of those films or just the way they decided to go about the actual, integration of the franchise, and then they jumped straight to Justice League. It just feels like he totally got the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
with his character and his
You might
interpretation.
feel differently if they release the Snyder Cut.
Right. Which I don't endorse. I don't care.
I don't know. We have what's his name playing Colin Firth as Penguin.
No,
Not Colin Firth.
Colin. Fuck. No, I'm blanking.
Eyebrow guy.
Yep, Colin Farrell.
Farrell. There you go. He's playing Penguin, which is cool. Zoe Kravitz is playing Catwoman, which I don't think what have I seen? I've seen her. She was in.
I don't know her by name. I'd have to see her.
I think she was in First Class, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure it's Lenny Kravitz's daughter, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
The artistic blood runs in the family.
Yes, it does. Yeah, man. I don't know. I want it to be here because Batman just gets me pumped up.
Yeah, you made an interesting point at the beginning of your spiel where you were like, look at what Joker did, and there's no way that the people behind Batman, especially the producers and the execs and stuff, there's no way they're like, hey, copy that.
Yeah.
Hey, look what they did. Can you please have it somewhat mirror that, at least like tonally or thematically? Like, can you make it as dark as humanly fucking possible? Because apparently that's what people wanted to see with the Joker. If you'd have told me, like in September, the Joker would make over $1 billion, who the fuck saw that coming? You need to see it. It's great. It's just, it's such a dark film, and it takes you on such kind of a whoa ride. I never would have guessed. But anyway, yeah, you're right. Like, they have to be saying, like, hey, like, cash in on whatever the hell America and everyone around the world is on right now, and just, pump that into this movie's veins, because people seem to be going out in droves for this kind of thing. And then I kept thinking, man, because I can't spoil it. Fuck.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want it to be a surprise for you. But Joker does cool things with its narrative, and if you could possibly potentially ever see, and they keep insisting that they're not linked, that Joker is not linked in any way to Robert Pattinson's Batman, which is fine, or that could just be misdirection because they have bigger plans. When you have such a successful, like the Joker could be their Iron Man. If they play their cards right. I know that they already have like this other DCEU, like other cinematic universe that they...
I think, they still have Wonder Woman, and The Flash is still, so...
But they've already kind of branched themselves off with having these two universes because they allowed Joker to be made, which means they allowed the thought of two DC universes existing somewhat. I know the pitch for that movie was originally like, hey, it's just a standalone, like we're not going to go crazy.
But then it made $1 billion.
Yeah, money talks. It's Taylor's age-old argument of money. And it's,
Am I wrong?
No, not at all. You're 100% right, because at the end of the day, that's any reason why anyone makes anything, especially in Hollywood. So, yeah, what I want to see is I have no worries that Robert Pattinson will get it right.
Not me.
He is incredibly talented. He's proven himself in a multitude of films since Twilight. So to still keep hanging that over his head, when he was probably late teens, early 20s when he did those movies.
Very young.
And they were a cultural phenomenon, and they're bad, sure, but people
they did well.
Yeah,
I heard the last one's not too bad.
Yeah, I've never seen them. I want to watch them ironically someday. And then I'll probably end up actually enjoying it somewhat.
Be your favorite franchise.
Yeah. Move over to Star Wars. But
that wasn't funny.
Yeah, it's just give us a grounded story. Let us see an origin that may be told in a different way that we haven't seen before, and give us a bit of a darker take like Joker if you can. If you can even inject maybe 10% of that into the movie, it'd be pretty dope. And the cast is great, and Matt Reeves is a great director. Did he do all 3 Planet of the Apes movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've not talked about those on the show
movies.
at all, but they're real good.
Yeah.
Like, there's not one. Have you seen any of the new Planet of the
I
Apes?
saw the first one.
Yeah, dude, you got to go back and watch the.
Dawn is real good. The
Dawn's
second
real
one.
good. Yeah, and then War is great too.
Yeah.
I love those movies. He's a great director. Yeah, man, I think it's gonna be cool.
We have Catwoman, Penguin, and the Riddler all confirmed, which makes me a little cautious but it's like, you can say having a lot of characters is like instant but it's like
Doesn't have to be. Though.
We all liked Endgame pretty well, and there
Yeah.
were like 349 characters in that, and it was treated well. And
Those all had setup, I feel, a little bit, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I see what you mean, but, like, I don't... Yeah, it's not, like, immediate red flags, but what could... You know, they can't spend all... You only have so much time in a movie, so it's like, who are you going to spend time on? It's got to be Bruce Wayne Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So, like... I don't know. I'm really big on the Alfred Batman dynamic, so I hope they don't just throw that away in these movies.
Which is Andy Serkis as Alfred.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Such a cool cast.
And he worked with Matt Reeves, obviously, a lot because he played Caesar.
Yeah. It could be really cool. I really hope it is because, you know, Wonder Woman 84 looks cool. The first Wonder Woman is great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Joker was great. If they can kind of continue, I'm hearing that Harley Quinn is great. Or Birds of Prey, sorry. Which I didn't hate the trailer. I know you guys didn't like it. I finally got it because I saw it and I was like, oh, I
just thought it was strange.
I was like, I see what they're going for. And some of the shots and some of the fights looked like they were actually like directed with some finesse and some oomph as opposed to just let's have a stunt double go in there and cut the camera a bunch, you know? Yeah, it could be cool though. What do you want to see? Being a fan of The Dark Knight and you just want to see like a solid origin or?
I'm not really sure, honestly. I mean, it's as far as The Dark Knight like was just. I mean, I like the Joker Batman interaction. Like it's it brings a lot of good, funny banter. I mean, it's a good relationship. I like seeing them on screen together, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. God, I really hope they do connect them in some way.
That
would be so cool.
But
you mean just narratively?
Yeah, time wise.
He would just be older, wouldn't?
Yeah,
because. I think. All right, yeah, we can't even talk about it without getting into spoilers. I think it could work. We'll see. Also,
it's charged.
Charged my watch.
Yeah.
Also, that's not the face I chose earlier, so that's cool.
That's fine.
Worst decision I made all day.
Why?
Has not stopped vibrating.
Really?
Has not stopped vibrating.
Well, stop talking to people.
I'm just, I should put the whole thing on.
You could turn all that off too.
Still makes me upset.
I don't want to hear complaints about that. That's a garbage excuse.
Pinging iPhone. Nope.
Why'd you ping your iPhone? It's right there.
It looked like an off vibrate button. You want to go to the theater? Whatever the fuck that means.
It's emojis.
All right.
You just want to complain.
Mason, put your watch.
Give me your damn watch.
Yeah, no. I charged it. The one thing I will say that's really annoying about Apple Watch, and maybe it's just a Series 1 problem, is when I did finally charge it, hit 100%, no matter what message threads you have on your messages app in there, it has to catch up.
Yeah.
So it's like downloading all of these messages that I deleted forever ago in there, and I have to go manually delete them, which took a solid 5 minutes.
Well, when you get your Apple Watch, you're not supposed to not use it for 2 years and then use it again.
I don't know.
So.
Be cooler, I
Apple's
guess.
expectation is that you have it on your wrist every day.
Yeah.
Apple's expectation is that
when you're awake and when you're asleep.
Yeah, so that they can monitor me.
Yep.
One more movie thing I want to touch on, or a couple more really, is there is a remake of The Thing again that's happening. And I'll say this, not the original The Thing, because I have not seen it, but the 1982 John Carpenter remake with Kurt Russell and other people.
He's not just, just a solo. Just
is so good. Like, it is one of my all-time favorite horror movies. The effects in that film stand up. The creature effects are great. The narrative is awesome. The acting is great. The pacing is great. That is such an underrated horror film and I love it so much. And I feel like it's a great IP to bring back. But I think, when was the newest remake? 2010 maybe?
Couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, but it was, I had heard, not very good. But if they're going to bring it back, then let's do it with some gravitas, because the 1982 film is awesome. And I just really hope that they treat this one right.
Yeah, it's a cool story. Just like the fear of, you don't know like who's who, what's what, shapeshifter, very.
Yeah, and it's so gross in the old movie. But it holds up so well because they're all real practical effects. And
what are the details that you know so far? Just that they're thinking about remaking it.
Universal is talking about remaking it. I think it's confirmed.
Yeah.
I don't know too many details yet. Universal and Blumhouse or Blumhouse,
cool.
however you say it,
Wow.
in the works that it'll incorporate the lost pages of the original novel. No idea what that means.
Maybe just things they didn't cover in the movie
Yeah,
the
it might
first
not.
time.
It might not be a retelling of the story that we got in '82 at all,
That'd be
which
cool.
I don't think is the way they'd go. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm always in the mood for good horror movies, especially if they keep that very unique kind of sci-fi horror vibe that you only really get with a few different kinds of movies.
Not horror movies like The New Grudge.
Right, which I've not seen.
Nope.
No.
Don't need
It's already in the dollar theater, so it can't be
Is
very
it
good.
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was in actual theaters for, I think, a week.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's a good sign. I don't know anything about Dune,
Me either.
but the new logo is the best logo I've
Yeah.
ever seen.
It's really cool. It's all the same thing, pretty much.
It's very clever. I don't know anything about the original Dune outside of I think it was a science. Can you look it up for me,
Yeah.
Taylor? I think it was a sci-fi movie in the '80s that was kind of a cult classic.
It's off a book, right?
I guess probably.
I think the original story is from a book.
Dune, made in 1984.
I thought you were about to tell us how much money it made. I was like, why is that
Made
like
$184.
Epic science fiction adventure film.
So it was a film.
Yes.
Is that you see any scores attached to it, just so we can judge it without seeing it?
Um,
Can we take other people's opinions and use them
I
as
can
our
try to
own?
find out. Box office was roughly $35 million. It was budgeted at $41 million, so it sounds like it lost money.
That's not good.
6.5 out of 10.
It's probably a cult hit. Sounds like
Yeah.
a cult hit.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the
But the logo's great. So
logo's dope.
that's all. I wanted
It's
to
a
bring it
good
up because
start.
it's such a.
Yeah, it's cool looking.
And Lethal Weapon 5 is in development. I know you don't care at all.
care.
I know you don't care at all.
I haven't seen any of them, so I've no.
The first, well, there's 4 and they all maintain the same cast. I think Joe Pesci was in the 3rd or 4th one.
Yeah.
They're great buddy cop movies.
Yeah.
You get a crazy Mel Gibson and a funny Danny Glover.
So Mel Gibson.
And so you get Mel Gibson, throw in Danny Glover, and you get a cool buddy cop.
That's not too
dramedy.
old for this shit, right? That's where that came from. That's
I'm
what-
too old for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. A 5th and final Lethal Weapon is
Ooh.
reportedly at works in the
Unless
works
it makes a lot of money.
at Warner Brothers
Which you won't.
with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover attached. I'm sure that we'll hear that they will depart soon. I'm sure.
Yes.
And this is some Star Wars news. It's been a hot second since we've talked about Star Wars.
Mhm.
And I wanted to bring this up. Some dude posted it on Twitter. I was very clever when I screenshotted this, and I didn't keep him in the screenshot, so I
Okay.
apologize, guy. But it was someone, I think, working closely with Lucasfilm or something. But he says, what is hashtag Project Luminous? As already announced, it's a publishing effort. Publishing's in all caps. He really wants to get that across. It's a publishing effort to tell a big, interconnected Star Wars story. The key is, don't hold your breath for any movie/TV/game tie-ins. On February 24th, we'll learn about stories, characters, release dates, and most intriguing, the era. The countdown is on. Star Wars Project Luminous is revealed on February 24th. What could it possibly be?
I would assume books or comic books.
He said don't expect tie-ins from...
Tie-ins. no,
Publishing, if he's focusing on publishing, that would indicate probably some sort of literature.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
So you guys think it's just a bunch of fucking books?
Yep.
Sorry
Maybe
to
it's
burst
the,
your
the
bubble.
newest encyclopedia to just
Yeah.
let you know all the new information.
It's the new Star Wars visual dictionary,
Yeah.
all-encompassing.
I don't know. I mean, if it says there's no tie-ins, then
No movie, no TV, no games. There goes your audience.
yeah, really. It's only for people who
Who
like
love books.
Yeah,
Which
I don't know.
I'm sorry, but
I hear
Star
there's
Wars
not me.
I hear there's a few really good ones out there.
there are, but
no,
you know,
I'll never read them, but
Yeah.
yeah, there are.
Hey man.
audiobook.
Yeah.
Still don't have the patience for that. Which is
All right.
weird.
Well,
I would have done it by now if I really wanted
I tried.
Yeah, I don't know.
to. You have a solid point.
I know.
When do they say February?
24th.
That's
Oh,
still,
mark your calendar.
That's a bit of ways off here.
Mark your calendar.
it's February
Don't
1st
forget.
tomorrow.
mhm.
Not to timestamp this episode, but
I
Thank
don't.
you, Mike.
I don't know what it could be though. I don't know what
Could be a line of books.
A new era. So it's either going to be like High Republic or Old Republic or, who knows? We'll learn about stories, characters, release dates, and most intriguing the era. Oh, also I saw a retweet from somebody that I guess Star Wars had tweeted in November. In January, we'll hear the next line of films and the director. And someone posted today, like, can't wait to see this news drop.
Hey man, we still have a few hours left.
Yeah. I got real confused. I'm like, it's not 312.
Yeah. We all fell asleep for a couple hours.
But yeah, I don't know what it could be.
I have no idea.
I really have no clue.
I haven't heard anything about that until you just...
Either have I.
Project Luminous.
I've heard about it. I thought it was the code name for a new game.
Yeah.
But it's not. And actually, speaking of Star Wars and video games, we're going to transition to a different part real quick as we move into our gaming talk. Is there anything you guys want to talk about movie-wise that I might have missed?
Nothing that really springs to mind.
Okay. Speaking of Star Wars and video games, sales of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order significantly beat our expectations, says EA CFO Blake Jorgensen.
It's a weird thing to say.
Yeah. Jedi Fallen Order beats expectations. EA says the single-player Star Wars adventure is on track to hit 10 million units.
Damn.
The title was predicted to sell 6 to 8 million units. It's amazing, Blake Jorgensen. What can happen when you make a good video game?
Blake.
You stupid person.
He's a smart guy. He's the CFO.
I don't care. Oh, wow.
Well, no, I mean, I'm sure they have.
We put time into our game. We have talented people. We gave them time. Didn't give them enough time, but we gave them time.
And people liked it.
Yeah, and there's no microtransactions, and it's a single-player story that had passion and emotion behind it.
To go back to our first topic, do you think if you took Jedi Fallen Order, the story, could you make that a movie?
Wouldn't be that great.
Yeah.
Because it's so much, the game's so much about the journey, and seeing all the different arcs and the characters and how things interplay. And I mean, yeah, you could. Yeah, I mean, you definitely could. I mean, I think that
it's doable, but like he said, it doesn't mean it'll be good.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can make a lot of things a movie, but
and I'm just trying to figure out, like, you love Jedi Fallen Order. You love this. You said it's like one of your favorite stories as of.
I think it's the best. I mean,
best Star Wars game for sure.
I think it's my favorite Star Wars game, beating out Knights of the Old Republic, because
that's saying a lot from you.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite games of all time. But I bought that game. I got that game on November 14th, like the night it came out, and I beat it on like the 17th. And like over that weekend, those 3 days was one of the most not transformative. That's a dumb word. Seamless, enjoyable, fluid, fun gaming experiences I've ever had. I could not put the fucking thing down. I could not put it down. It's those as a gamer, it's those experiences that you search for with every title you play, where you're like, when I pick this thing up, the controller will disappear and I will be in this world with these characters, and I will be engaged in a gameplay loop that I love, being told stories that are interesting, going on an adventure, right? And that's what Fallen Order was for me. Everything about the game worked for me. Like, there were a few things that annoyed me, and obviously it needed more polish, but it was such a euphoric gaming experience. Like, we as gamers, we look for that shit all the time, but we only get it like once, maybe twice a year, maybe even once every fucking 3 years.
Did we get the Game Awards yet?
Yeah.
What one? It was Japanese game, right?
Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice or whatever.
Which is
terrible name.
Good.
This didn't make the cut because it came out too late, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Maybe next year.
Maybe. But yeah, I just there was a point to all that. But yeah, it was such an that's what it was. It was such an incredible experience to sit down and play.
Yeah.
That I don't know how you transfer that. And that's the thing. I don't know how you transfer the emotional attachment that can be achieved through gaming into a film. They're just two different kinds of immersion. But it's, again, it just, this is what happens when you put time and effort into making a game that people want.
Mm-hmm.
And, with the caveat that it is put against a somewhat familiar backdrop, it is the best unique story that I've seen in Disney EA era Star Wars.
Sure. Yeah.
More so than the new films, just because it was thought out from beginning to end, and that's clear when you play it. You know, you go to interesting places, you see places that you see new places that you don't know. The interplay between the characters is really nice, and despite the lack of polish that the game, should have had, it doesn't forget about its characters throughout the journey. Like little things happen, like little subtle gameplay things happen, whether it's in the way characters talk to one another or little shifts in tone or this, that. All these little nuances are there to really bring the experience up to that next level.
Yeah.
Like I think it could have been as good as God of War if it was kept in the oven for another 6 months to a year even. But yeah, it's just amazing what happens when single player games aren't dead. I was really in a huge multiplayer phase. Yeah. Back in, and I love playing games with you guys, and it's awesome. But like
sometimes you just need time to enjoy a story by yourself.
Right. I mean, like, when you think of your favorite gaming memories, like
they're not in multiplayer.
Right. I mean, like,
some of my most amusing memories were in multiplayer, mainly Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 lobbies. That was a long time ago.
That was a time capsule.
I mean, most memorable gaming moments for sure is, Mass Effect 2, Skyrim, Oblivion. I mean, those like open world story driven games.
Yeah. These games that give you the agency to tell your own stories and to make your, within the context of a larger world. And you can tell your own stories and have your own moments in multiplayer games. Mm-hmm. There are incredible times, like I have incredible moments or memories from like Battlefield or Call of Duty even, where I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe that happened, or I can't believe I did that.
Battlefield in particular.
Yeah, because that's
destructive environments.
Crazy sandbox.
Yeah.
But it's just different. And I hope that this is a lesson for whatever CFO or CEO,
we didn't think it was going to be that good. Apparently people liked it.
Here's the thing, and I understand where he's coming from. He's not dumb, obviously, but I understand where he's coming from, where it's like, we thought people might like it, but despite it might sound small, moving 10 million copies is a lot for games.
Sure.
It's no GTA 5, but like moving millions of units when you're a game at $60 price tag is not easy. Especially
like for more or less a first shot of a game. I mean, it's Star Wars, but like this wasn't a sequel to anything. I mean, this was its own thing.
Right. I mean, it has a Star Wars property attached to it, so obviously it's going to move units to some extent. But it's, the fact that
it tells its own story.
Right. And it has, word of mouth is still the most powerful advertiser.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like if people were like, this came out and it blows, it wouldn't have sold 10 million units just off the Star Wars name. So there's something here, and I hope they continue to support it, because I think they're going to greenlight a sequel after this news if they haven't already.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I would imagine they would.
And I hope they continue to support Fallen Order, because I think lightning struck them in that bottle, and I don't, you can't just assume it's going to happen again, even if you have the same people behind it, because that's just not how creative endeavors work.
Yeah.
With film or with games. So, yeah, cool stuff.
Pretty
cool. We talked about this a couple episodes ago, I think. Maybe it was last episode, I can't remember, but we had talked about if there was an 8th Resident Evil in the works.
I think it was, 1 or 2 episodes ago.
Yeah. And we didn't know at the time, because we were talking about kind of the cultural impact that RE4 had.
Yeah.
And apparently this is a rumor, not confirmed, pure speculation, but the first potential Resident Evil 8 details have leaked. Apparently from these leaks, Ethan from the 7th game, which is the VR first-person one that came out a few years back, that kind of revitalized the franchise. He's the protagonist. Apparently the game is first-person.
Heard about that.
Very cool.
So
I want to play that again.
Yeah, I need to finish it. It's on sale right now on PSN.
I have it. I do.
Zombies Return, which I'd hope so. It's Resident Evil.
Yep.
Apparently there's a new enemy type, and they are werewolves. Apparently.
That could be cool, or it could be weird.
Could be cool, or you got to put vampires in too. Can't have one or the. Got to have both of them.
Right, yin and yang.
Yeah.
Van Helsing, best movie.
New. I actually.
I was going to reference Skyrim, but yes, also Van Helsing.
Yeah, I kind of liked that movie when it came out.
Watch it again. Let me know how you feel.
I don't want to watch it again.
It's awful.
It's not that bad.
It was made for like $14.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
No, it's not, but it's bad.
New stalker enemy type. I don't know what that means, but apparently also Chris Redfield will return in some form.
He was the big dude from 5, right?
Yeah, and then spattered throughout the other games too.
But he was like, I know him from 5.
Yeah. But this, I mean, I'm excited about this, and I'm glad that they're kind of keeping the same gameplay formula that they established in 7.
Yeah.
Because 7 is fucking terrifying.
Yeah, 7 was real cool.
Never finished
especially
it?
in VR.
Dude, in VR, it's not okay.
Yeah, in VR, it's almost unplayable, for me at least.
I just remember, like, one of the opening scenes, you have to go down the stairs.
You and I played it at your house.
I think the 3 of us
Were you?
did.
You were there too.
Yeah, all 3 of us. Yeah. That's when you first got your VR, and I think that was like, it was your VR, right?
You brought it over.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we keep talking about VR every week.
I know.
And I'm like, I gotta fucking get one again. God damn it.
I need to get mine back for sure.
But they're
not that. I mean, they're pricey, but they're not that. What are they?
$300 for everything.
$350 for everything. Which honestly,
oh yeah, because you need like the wands and shit.
But that's not a bad price.
No,
because if you buy them separately, the wands are like $100 by themselves.
Yeah, I have no doubt that you save money.
Yeah. Plus, you get some games with it. I mean,
dude, Astrobot.
That alone.
I think a game called Blood and Truth is the one that
Jordan said it was awesome.
Now. Yeah,
Jordan said that was really cool.
Things.
There's also, I don't know if it came out today, and I don't know if it's on PSVR. But speaking of VR experiences and that whole kind of sub-medium moving forward or genre, whatever you want to call it, there's a Walking Dead game out called what's it called? I gotta Google it now. Or Taylor, can you do it? Because it won't. Can you just Google Walking Dead VR game? It's a new VR game that's like an action RPG that takes place in the Walking Dead universe, and it's VR exclusive, I think. And people are like, "This thing's fucking great."
Really?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Like people are like, "This is a full-fledged gaming experience." Like they didn't cut corners. It doesn't feel like it's like limited by VR.
Mm-hmm.
It's a full legit.
I think this is Steam.
Is it only on Steam?
Not PS4.
Okay.
Can you bring up any deets about it?
Yep.
Because I think there's already. It's out, right?
Looks like it, yeah. Walking Dead Saints and Sinners.
Yeah.
Requires virtual reality headset.
Could have kept that Quest.
Yeah.
Compatible with
Oculus
Valve
is different than Steam,
Index,
I think.
HTC Vive, Oculus Rift. No Oculus Quest.
Weird.
Although you can do that Oculus Link, which kind of works, I think.
You just have massive latency. You stream the game to your headset from your computer.
Pretty much.
Gross.
Yeah, real gross.
But yeah, I mean...
Any Steam reviews up about it, or is it still pretty early?
There's 994 reviews, it's rated as very positive.
Yeah, I haven't read any reviews, but I've just seen kind of blurb quotes from people that it's like
the trailer,
legit.
Like when you go on Steam's website, it plays like the gameplay trailer. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
Is it like tied, like, are the characters from the show, or is it just based off IP?
I don't know.
I said IP like 38 times, like I'm some smart person.
I probably have to.
It doesn't say, although it does say every challenge you face and decision you make is driven by you, which is cool. So I would imagine you're probably somebody different, and you're just you're just making your own way in the world. Yeah.
It looked really cool, and seeing all these cool VR experiences. I wish I had a good standalone.
Based in New Orleans.
That's cool.
Okay, so then definitely not.
But that's a cool environment to have a game like that in.
Oh yeah,
sure. I think I saw a gameplay clip where you're like on a boat rowing.
Really?
Yeah, and you've got to actually row.
I'll have to check it out.
Zombie gators.
I don't know. that would be scary as hell. Yeah, that looks cool, and all this talk of VR makes me want to. I really wish I had a dedicated PC headset. To it, but there's something about
so expensive though.
They're real expensive, and the setup would just be such a pain in the ass because
it's hard, like specs wise.
Yeah, and I
need a hell of a rig.
Yeah,
for good VR.
Yeah, and I have a solid rig, but not nearly what I have what is recommend. I could do it fine, but
ever since I had PSVR, I've always wanted to be like what is like the ultimate VR? Like, because
Where
obviously
you've got like 4K on each eye and not just like some weird resolution.
720 and it's kind of fuzzy, and your brain eventually. I mean, PSVR is very cool. For
it's
what
great.
It is, for sure.
Yeah.
The only thing that irks me about the VR headset is you get light down at the bottom under your eyes, and you can't make it go away.
Just got to play in a dark room, I guess.
Yeah, it's fine, but
it's
not always dark.
You gotta get some foam, glue it to your face,
clearly,
and.
I mean, having played both PSVR for extended amounts and the Quest, I'd take PSVR over the Quest.
Yeah,
it's easy.
Yeah, even though the Quest,
even
though the Quest does look a little sharper, has a bit of a higher resolution, and you have some cool titles in the Quest that are exclusive to it, like Vader Immortals and stuff, or whatever it's called. It hurts. I can play the PSVR for like 2 hours, and it's comfortable as fuck.
Yeah.
The Quest fucking gave me a migraine, so...
After what? 15 minutes?
25 minutes, I was like, fuck. And then I woke up with a VR ring around my head.
Permanent goggles.
Had like weird sinus infection. Not that, but yeah, it's just, if they advance, we've talked about this off air, but if they advance the technology and make it a bit lighter, maybe drop the price a bit, which they won't probably, but.
What is it, 4?
4 or 5.
It starts at 4.
Yeah, 5 for the like 60 or the
128, which if you're going to play a lot of games on, you have to get.
Yeah.
Because you can't expand the storage.
128 gigs of storage is not a lot in this day and age.
When games are like...
When, you know...
Even these VR games, like they're smaller, but they're still 10 gigs a shot. I mean, that's...
Sometimes even more, I think.
Yeah, it's cool. I get to store 4 or 5 games on my $400 headset.
I mean, look at Skyrim VR. That's probably 30 gigs. That's the entirety of that game, you know? That's that whole game world. I could be wrong, but yeah, somewhere along the line, video game people have just forgot how to compress files. They're just like, fuck it.
I'm sure there's some sort of reason.
Damn video game people.
Yeah,
there's got to be tons of reasons.
Blake, whatever his name was.
Blake Jorgensen. Zombie Army 4 is like, I think that game went gold. I can't talk tonight.
15
I think that game done got gold. I think that game went gold.
15
gigs
for Skyrim VR.
15 gigs.
Oh, yeah. I'm proven wrong. That's crazy.
That's still a lot, though.
Yeah, for only a 64 gig headset.
Yeah, that's still a lot.
VR is cool. I think. They are saying this, I think, and once we have the PS5 reveal, we'll have a lot of things to talk about on the show regarding the PlayStation space, but I think they have already confirmed that
there will be another headset.
I think PSVR, though, if you already have one, will work.
It does.
Yeah, on PS5.
Yep. New headset would be tight.
The problem is the resolution. They're not going to... It doesn't bump up the resolution on the current one, but I would imagine a PSVR 2 probably would. I would imagine probably be 1080 at least.
Yeah, they'd bump up res, and they'd. But if you still have PSVR and you plug it into a PS5, I would assume it at least gets a performance boost.
Yeah,
like
performance. But I mean, the hardware is the hardware.
Right. Yeah. But the hardware is in the machine, so.
No, I mean like
we're talking about the headset,
right? Yeah. We'll see what happens, because I hope the PS5 comes out and fucking kills it, because we see what's going to come from the next Xbox, and don't get me wrong, I'll probably grab one.
Listen,
for sure.
PlayStation 5, the fact that you can play any PlayStation game,
that's not confirmed yet, is it?
I think it is.
I think that's speculation. I think it's a rumor. I hope you're right, because if you can play PS1 through PS5 games just by putting the disc in, you've won everything ever.
Yeah.
Because
what if you don't have the disc?
Buy it.
Yeah, that you're going to make so much, well, maybe not you personally as Sony, maybe, but you're going to open up, like, so many people are going to want to buy your console for one thing or another. If you can literally put any disc in and play it, and if it's a PS3 game and it needs patched or whatever, I guess that might be problematic, because you might not have I don't know how all that shit works, but.
So it is not confirmed yet. But that has been a very popular rumor.
Yeah.
So I would imagine there's some weight to it, but
the research and development it must take to implement
if that's true, that's it. PlayStation has won the console war.
Use it all right now.
Yeah, you're right.
No matter, Xbox won't be able to do anything.
Yeah, but It's big.
It's large. I can't wait to see the power brick for that thing.
There better not be one. It's got to be. It's got to be.
It's going to be
internal.
the same size.
Because knowing Microsoft, it's going to be huge.
It's going to be. You're just going to have two of the exact same box. It's going to be the box and then the power brick.
Xbox One X had an internal power brick. If they go backwards and have an external one for this next one, they fucked up.
For that amount of power, I don't know.
For unlimited power, I don't know.
Baseball.
Try and do it. Let's see what's.
Just move the cup.
Let's see what's next. Now I want to play this
game for the
balancing
rest
act.
of. I haven't had an Xbox in so long.
Let me help you with that.
They're all right.
You had one, and I wanted Forza, and then that was that.
Not
The controller, though.
It is a good controller.
It's better than the DualShock.
It is.
Unquestionably. Yeah, unquestionably. So I've been playing in my spare time some Mass Effect 2. We had talked about it a couple times on the past couple of episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I checked it out on the PC, on Origin, and I went in and I was like, and I've tried to play this version before, but I looked on my Origin account and I only had about an hour logged. Okay. So I really didn't try that much before. I must have picked it up and put it down pretty quick.
You don't do that ever.
No, not me. And I've put about 4 hours into it or something. I'm on Omega, so I'm still pretty early. It's one of the first planets you can go to. The game opens up pretty early. But man, it still holds up.
Yeah,
I bet.
Really well. The only thing that's clunky about it, and it might just be because it's not really, it came out in an era where console games took priority over PC.
Mm-hmm.
So, and some would argue that they still do, but
I still think they do.
Yeah, well, they all run like shit now. So, but it came out in an era where, you know, PC's dead. So everybody was developing for console primarily. So I think some of the movement on mouse and keyboard's a little clunky.
Just plug a controller in. Oh, Mass Effect 2 doesn't have controllers.
Right. There's mods to have controllers. There's mods where you can make it work, but I'm always like, fuck that. I'm not doing that. So I make it work with mouse and keyboard, and it feels good to shoot. It feels responsive. It's overly responsive. Actually, I have the sensitivity all the way down.
Really?
And it's still like, so I would have to go in and change like the individual DPI settings on my mouse if I wanted to, and I'm not going to do that.
That's
too much.
Everything you've said in the past 30 seconds is why I'm like, I'll stick with my PlayStation.
Dude, you'd think that, but I can't tell you. We'll get to it. Because I'm very, very much right now, like, I'm very glad I have my PC.
Yeah. Like,
I'm so glad I did.
I've also never had one, so.
Yeah. You dig it for sure, obviously. Yeah. All the power at your fingertips. But it looks great.
WASD.
It looks great. It plays great. The game holds up almost in every single aspect. The only thing I don't like about it is it does that thing that video games do, and I don't know if you both know what I'm talking about, but it has that weird syndrome of when I sprint, I can hardly fucking turn my character. You ever played a video game where you sprint and he's like,
you lose all handling?
Yeah. It's like he can't.
Can you turn on a dime when you run?
Yeah, it's like you can't pivot at all. Like, and
the sprinting in Mass Effect 2 was always kind of wonky, though.
Yeah, because if you look at the jump from 1 to 2, it's like, holy shit, you know? Yeah. And something obviously had to kind of get the short end of the stick, and I think it was the movement. The base movement and the animations, like, everything is such a big improvement from the first game, but it's a lot of fun, and it was incredible how quickly I get right back into the Mass Effect style of combat, where you are using your party members' powers almost as just as much as your own.
That's pretty cool.
It's the and they're effective. Your party members are so fucking effective.
Which is rare.
Yeah,
it seems like in video. Dude, you always any AI you're given, it's just like
they're just blindly shooting.
Yeah, especially when you're in a squad in games nowadays, where it's like they'll just be there for like the story and they'll kind of help, but they'll still
attract some gunfire.
Yeah, but they'll take some aggro, but you still have to kill them.
Yeah,
or all the enemies rather.
You might get a lucky bullet and that kills one of the guys that Other than that.
In this, I've had, even just from playing about 4.5 hours, I've had 2 instances, because I'm playing on one of the harder difficulties. I've had 2 instances where my party has literally saved my life. Like, I was like behind cover, and I'm playing on a difficulty where your health gets drained pretty quickly if you get hit. And some guy was charging me, and I was like, fuck. And I was in the middle of it. I was in the middle of a reload animation, and Zaid, who is a DLC character, which is still so cool that they like actually pulled that off. hit him with a concussive blast and knocked him over and killed him right as he was about to like charge
cool.
me. And I was like, oh, and I didn't.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't even like order him to do that.
Yeah.
But it's really cool how you bring up your squad menu, and they each have these powers, and you like pretty much look at the enemy, bring up the menu, hit the button, and immediately your squad member does it to that character, or to the enemy that you selected. And it's almost like you have all these powers in turn. And then you couple that with your own powers, your own biotics, your own abilities, and the actual gunplay, which is great. And I'm like, holy shit, yeah, now I understand like what was so great about Mass Effect combat. Like now I get it. Now I remember. It's been so long since I played one of those games. And it really holds up, and the writing is great. I rescued Morden, which might be my favorite character. Like just hearing him talk for like the first hour, I was like, holy shit, I remember why you're so great.
He's witty.
He's so funny, dude. Yeah, man, that game holds up.
He's a savage, though.
Yeah, he is. He's a savage. I'm still kind of, I don't know that I'll finish it because I did play it so much when I was a kid. Like it's like all coming back to me now, and I'm like, oh no, like I wanted to play it because I kind of forgot what happens, but now that I'm getting into it a little bit more, I'm like, everything that's coming. Yeah, because I drained the crap out of everything you could do in that game, and now I'm kind of just like, man, the combat's so fun. I want to go to 3 and see if it's like just that much better. But yeah, man, Mass Effect 2 holds up in 2020, and it's really upsetting to me that they don't make it more easily available on either of these consoles, or maybe they'll do it down the line since there is a new since there is a Mass Effect whatever in development. We'll see. BioWare Edmonton with Casey Hudson directing again.
That's a good start.
Yeah. And then, to continue my path of nostalgia, I have Game Pass on PC. So I also played Master Chief Collection because it was downloadable. So I download this thing, right? And it's about 40-some gigs or maybe 30. I don't know. And I'm waiting for it. It's downloaded. I go into the menu and I click on campaigns, and you're hit with that incredible, illustrious Halo music, right? Unquestionably some of the best composition of music in any video game ever. Just hit with it, and I'm like, oh my God. Oh. I'm just like, fuck yeah. And
I'm in it.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm back, baby. It's been too long on PC with graphics options. Let's go. Like, I was so fucking ready. Click on campaigns. They're all grayed out except for Reach.
Awesome.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Did my game only partially install? I'm like, what's going on? So Alt-Tab, get into some forums. And they're like, yeah, the PC version of Master Chief Collection, they are not releasing all the games at once because they want to avoid what happened in 2014 when they did it with Xbox and everything was broken for 4 years. So they're only releasing it bit by bit. And I was like, that sucks. And I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't pay $40, which is what it's retailing for right now. Because I didn't know that. That being said, played about an hour of Reach with mouse and keyboard. Plays great. Feels great with mouse and keyboard. Cool game, but not the one that I wanted to play.
Yeah. Which one did you want to play?
CE, the first one. I wanted to play some Combat Evolved because that's probably my second favorite game of all time. So like, I wanted to jump in there. But it's not there. So if you didn't know that and you're looking to play MCC on PC, wait.
I have fond memories of Halo multiplayer. That was probably like the first multiplayer I really dove into. It's like me, you, and Pierce and
Halo 4?
Yeah. And then I think we all had the Master Chief Collection, and every now and then we tried to like dabble in.
The campaigns would work. But unless you're playing on like a really high difficulty where it's tough and everyone can kind of carry their own,
just blow through it like it's nothing.
Yeah, you kind of need a bit of a challenge when you're doing the campaigns. Yeah,
I just remember Halo 4. I don't know, something. It's just a different experience. Just the gameplay mechanics and I don't know. It's just cool.
It is. It was Bungie executed incredibly well on the original formula, and like the original Halo was the game that told me, hey, games can be more than you side-scrolling on the screen and getting one-ups and jumping over gaps and stomping on Goombas. Like, video games can be more than that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There's not. But I'm like, holy shit, video games can like make me feel like I'm in the world, and they can be 3D and tell me a story, and I'm a badass and power like super soldier, and There's the trifecta of Halo combat that's like jumping, grenading, and meleeing. Like you got to like know how to kind of use all that in tandem. It's and narratively, I would argue that the story is quite good through
Very good.
through many of the Halo
Surprised we
games.
never got a Halo movie.
That was also one that I think was rumored to
They
be
tried,
in development.
They tried it.
That's actually not true. We've had Halo movies, but not like
I mean, there's
good theatrical
Yeah.
release.
No
to
live
Halo.
action, I don't think. Neil Blomkamp Neil Blumkin was supposed to direct one for the longest time, and then because he did those like little live
The
action shorts,
Yeah, that might be what I'm thinking about.
because people are like, "Holy shit, District 9's really good," and then he was like, "Oh, it was, wasn't it?" Well, here's God. What was next? Elysium, and then here's Chappie, and then here's. Did he do Alien Covenant? No, he left that, didn't he?
Yeah, he didn't do it.
Yeah. But Halo's cool. I was trying to make a YouTube video for it. But then I got to the screen and saw that all the games were blocked out, and I got
that
pissed.
should be your video.
Yeah, I mean, that'd probably get more views than anything else because it would have been hilarious. Because my genuine shock was quite funny. But I was like, I was saying in that video, I was like, hey, I really hope that Halo has a comeback with Infinite and it gets back to what people love about Halo, and it, maybe the core gameplay loop and the core mechanics clear up the narrative a bit, because it does get very convoluted and muddy in 5. And Halo's so cool, man. It can be so cool when it's done properly. And, I really wish we could. The MCC on Xbox seems to be fixed.
Yeah.
I wish we just could all just have Xboxes and experience that again, because those are some special games.
Sure.
Taylor, you and I have been dabbling in GTA Online.
Yeah.
Mike, you've been avoiding us.
No, mine downloaded. It just took way too long last night.
It's like 87 gigs.
Yeah.
It's fucking huge.
And I have the best internet. So.
Right.
So good.
It's probably not even going to let you play it when you
Probably
get in.
not.
Hopefully not. Hopefully it does. What do you think?
I think it's fun. It's it's really one of those things like you can do literally whatever you want. And there's activities spread around the city that you can take part in. So you can do that. You can just run around and fuck around and just, do Grand Theft Auto shit. You can ride around. We can go hold up stores, rob cashiers. I mean, it's pretty much whatever you want to do. It's your world. I like it a lot.
It is remarkable how
I won our deathmatch game, by the way.
You did. It's funny, if someone kills you in the world, you have the option to challenge them in a one-on-one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and obviously Taylor shot me, or I shot him, or something.
Oh.
And, we did it, and he beat me by like 5-2 or 2-4.
The terrible combat.
It's not terrible.
Yeah. Didn't have the lock-on system. It would be very bad. But it's incredible how when a game gives you an open world with seemingly endless possibilities, how quickly I'm just like, please just tell me what to do.
Oh, yeah.
Like, where it's...
Even I struggle with that with just like open world games. I'm like, tell me.
Give me an
how.
objective marker.
Well, even those, it's like, if you select something, it'll tell you where to go, and like, but like, especially with GTA, where it's like, I can jack all these cars and literally kill anyone I see on the street and get to the top of most buildings and all this stuff. After about 10 minutes, I'm like, all right, well, guess I've seen it all somehow.
Yeah, who plays GTA other than just being like, enter your cheat code, shoot someone, avoid the cops, and die? Like, that's just...
And that can be cool, and there can be like dynamic experiences within that, especially in 5, which is like their sandbox kind of fully realized. For sure. But like, even that is only fun for like maybe a half an hour.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's something like the game is dynamic until it's not. And like, I don't know, like, and I love GTA 5. I don't think it's my favorite Grand Theft Auto, believe it or not. I think 4 is.
Cousin, let's go bowling.
Yeah. It actually might be San Andreas, because I loved that game when it came out. I don't know. But it's, when we talk about GTA Online, this is the first time that I jumped into it since
been a long time.
2014 maybe, when we had all played on Xbox back in the day. And back then, GTA Online was notorious for not really being finished, kind of being an afterthought. Some of it was kind of broken. And then it's only throughout the years that Rockstar's been kind of able to update it and build it up and release this free content and continually support it to where now it's this microtransaction phenomenon where it's just always making money and it seems to always have new content out and all this stuff. And I jumped into it by myself a couple nights ago because I wanted to just kind of get my character set up and see if I can't get the lay of the land.
I'm all about that.
Yeah. And the character creator is great. The character creator is dope. It does this dumbass fucking thing where it makes you pick your heritage.
Yeah.
So you have to pick your parents. So then you just end up,
I think I remember.
you end up fucking looking like them. So you're like, well, I don't want to look like any of these fucking people because they all look fucking like caricatures. Like they look like GTA characters. And most GTA characters, especially in the older games, look like cartoons because the graphics weren't necessarily there yet. So then you have to kind of go in and like change them to make them look cool, change her to make it look cool, whatever. And then the cool thing is you have like, you can use the right stick to like manually sculpt things. You don't have to just pick sliders or whatever. You can if you want. So I spent like a good probably 40 minutes in that, kind of getting my guy looking how I wanted.
3 hours in there.
Yeah. You can't change anything with physique, like with the actual,
your body's just your body.
Yeah, which I thought was kind of weird given the level of depth they went to with the head.
You might be able to with like, because wasn't like San Andreas big for like you go to the gym and you get muscular?
Yeah.
Is maybe that.
I don't think that's in 5.
I don't think it is either.
I think they took it out. In 4, I think they took that out.
You just look like a guy.
Yeah, you just look like
Or
a random
Or
guy
girl.
or gal. So I character creator cool, and it does this. And I opted because I read in that thing that I shared with you guys, like, hey, make sure you play the tutorial.
Yeah.
So I opted to play the tutorial, and I did. And it kind of ushers you in. You get off the plane, you land in Los Santos, and then Lamar picks you up, which I think is the best fucking thing ever because Lamar is hysterical.
Yeah,
So I love the fact that he has to usher you around to get you kind of started. And then you do some things, and then it kind of throws you in a server or whatever. And then after the tutorial, I had fun like the night after, like last night. I was like, okay, well, I guess the option of this mode is just like, it tells you like in these prompts that pop up, like do jobs to earn money to get clothes and cars and buy a fucking apartment and get a penthouse. And like, you're supposed to just fucking like get money and earn shit and
and buy stuff.
Yeah. And there's a ranking system, like you level up and your skills can get better. Like you have core stats like for stamina and shooting and driving and all that, which is really cool. But then I was like, okay, well, and I don't know if I was just kind of overwhelmed with things to do at first because it's kind of the reverse effect of what happened in 2014 where we were like, what do we do? All we're doing is robbing convenience stores. There doesn't seem to be really any real content here.
Yeah.
Seems to be the opposite now, like the flip side of that, where there's kind of so much going on, where there's like a bunch of icons on the map and there's also random players running around, either like wrecking your shit or ignoring you, which I didn't get griefed too much.
Yeah.
And if you do get griefed a lot, there is a way you can enable passive mode, which...
I with the plane yesterday. Though.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 straight times Mason and I were trying to drive to just do something, and this guy in a fucking fighter jet would come and kill us.
Cool. That's
he
fun.
just like strafing running. We're just fucking like the airstrike from Modern Warfare.
Fucking destroyed us.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that was kind of annoying. You respawn quickly, but also in order to like, I don't want to get too sidetracked. Let me finish my original point. So I didn't know if I felt like really overwhelmed with all the options of what to do, but I ended up just picking like an activity. Like I saw an S on the map and I'm like, oh, that's Simeon. Like I know Simeon. I'll go do a Simeon thing because it's probably car related and I like driving or whatever. So I'll go and I did that. And I stayed in a lobby with the same like 3 players for about an hour and we just boosted cars and like did like literally probably the exact same mission again and again, but it was easy money. And I was like, the goal is to get money, I guess. Yeah. So I was like, I racked up about 90 grand. That's what I was joking with you guys about it. And I was like, I think I get this. Like, and when we were doing that, like I was the host of those matches. Those players came in quickly. We launched off. We were in it pretty quickly. Outside of the initial load into GTA Online, the load times aren't too bad. Most of the time. But then after that, I'm like, okay, like what do I do? Like there's all this shit to do. Like I don't know if like I'm like, and I kind of just got overwhelmed. But I will say that I was really impressed with the fact that it all runs, like it all works. It doesn't run that great. It's pretty framey sometimes on PlayStation at least, but it's rendering all of Los Santos with all of these other players. And I remember there was a unique moment where I was like, I want to get my hair cut or whatever. So I went into a barber shop, and I'm in a live server with like 17 other players or whatever. And I went to a barber shop, and all was well, and I'm hearing explosions in the distance. And all of a sudden, like, instead of like it has the camera where it's on your dude, I pan the camera to look outside the window, and I just see cop cars going by, and I'm like, holy shit. And then like a car wrecks directly into the barber shop, like, but I'm like safe inside. So and then I see this other player get out, and he's fighting the cops, and then he runs off. And I was like, man, this like really does feel alive.
World,
I'm like, this is really cool. And I had a decent time. And then when Taylor and I played, it was kind of the thing of like, all right, we have all these options, but like, what do we do? Like, it's kind of Division 2 thing where it's like,
and robbed convenience
yeah. So we went back to the thing that was like the most easiest to understand and the most acceptable, like not acceptable, but like the quickest means to an end, right?
Yeah.
So we went and we robbed convenience stores, and we had a decent time doing that.
We got some money.
That was kind of fun. Also, though, if you rob it with a partner, your partner doesn't get any of the money unless they physically pick up the bag.
Yeah, it's whoever takes the bag of money that's thrown on the ground gets the money.
And we didn't both get it because another one, getting into the gripes I have about the mode, we didn't both get the money because we technically weren't in a party. We were technically two random players that were just playing together.
Yeah.
So like when we were in firefights and there were cops beyond Taylor, my guy would pull up his gun and automatically lock onto Taylor.
Oh, that's not
which
good.
was real. So I had to fucking pull it, like the heavy ass aim assist. I was like, to try and like pull it off. And so like, weird things like that. But to get into a crew, which is their version of a party, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
You have to have a Rockstar Games social club account, and you have to
It's better.
You have to log in. So you have to make the account if you don't have one. Log in, use the app to make a crew, and then I believe you go back into your game. Well, you've got to log out and log back in because, of course, making the app or making the crew on the website and then just going back to your game, it's not registering. You've got to refresh it. So you've got to log out of GTA Online, go back into GTA Online. That's 10 minutes. And then you go into the social settings, look at my crews, and then I believe you can invite your friends to join that crew.
Are you exhausted yet?
So after filming this, I will uninstall GTA 5, and that will be the end of
Yeah. So we can play together.
Yeah.
But if we want to be, I think, in the same party where I'm not locking onto your back every 2 seconds trying to shoot the guy that's beyond you, I think you've got to make sure you have that account, and you've got to, or maybe one person just does that, and then I invite you guys, and you're in the crew.
Could be.
And if that's the case, then whatever, I'll take that bullet. Already did it, But like the fact that you don't have any easy squad or party system built into your fucking game, doesn't make any sense to me, and that's kind of my problem with GTA Online is there's all this shit to do, all these things, and they're supposed to be cool. You can do all these heists, you can do all this stuff. A lot of this stuff is gated behind you actually have to have money to do it. Like you have to have a certain amount of money to go and buy a property in order to then gain access to doing certain heists. Yeah. So when you're starting out and you've got $6,000, and you've got to one of the ones I had to buy an arcade in order to like use the property to plan a heist or whatever. Arcades are $500,000 or whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I'll come back to that in 40 hours when I have that much money. But it's almost like all this stuff's around me, but I still have to find the fun.
Yeah.
Like I'm almost I'm either overstimulated with what's going on, or there's no clear like go and do this. So I would default back to the named missions, like from the characters that I know from the game. So I went and I tried to do Lamar's mission. And he has a couple that I did, and then about a third or fourth mission in, I saw him, and then you have to team up with 3 random players to do this mission. You can't do it by yourself, at least not to my knowledge. And then literally, when you're in this mission, if you die, the whole mission fails. If anyone dies once, the mission's failed.
Cool.
So in the load times between the interstitial stuff to get everyone in the lobby and actually get through it, and then go through the cutscene and stuff. Like if the host doesn't skip the cutscene, you're watching it every time. So like all of this little stuff adds up, and I'm like, there's so much cool stuff that could be in here, and this could be really fun. But take getting griefed by players, the performance being real shitty sometimes, and that also goes back into like the netcode and like some of just like the connection issues.
Yeah.
Where the last thing I'll say about it is like I got into one of their special events, like my last hurrah with this earlier, and I'm not saying I won't try it with you guys some more. I definitely will. But like my last hurrah playing it by myself was, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to say fuck it and go into one of these featured series events they have. I'm just going to say fuck it. Maybe I can earn major cash doing this, whatever. So I go in and it's this game where like it's kind of like football where there's like a defensive squad of cars and an offensive squad of cars, and the offensive squad of cars has a running back car.
Okay.
And the offensive squad has to get the running back car into the defensive's goal. So it's just football pretty much, and the goal line cars block for the running back car or whatever. And we get in, and it takes about fucking like 6 minutes to actually get in because people have to join, and the thing loads and all that stuff. Loading times are rough. And then we get in, and we're driving down this bridge because it takes place on a bridge, and we're driving down, and we go. And then as soon as I hit one of the offensive cars, because I was on defense, I hit him, but then like I go through him, and then like he appears in front of me, and it gets all real laggy, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And then like the running back car glitched through me and got past me. Cool. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And then to add insult to injury, we lost that round. And then I got kicked because there were too many players in the game. And then it sent me back to another loading screen to get kicked. I'm just like, this fucking sucks. Yeah. So I logged off. So anyway, that's my...
Sounds fun. I can't wait to play with you guys.
Yeah. I think it could be fun, but it seems like I shouldn't have to be asking, where's the fun in your big-ass open world?
I mean, clearly a lot of people enjoy it.
I know, and that's why I'm like, do I just have to learn the ins and outs? Like, but I tried. Like, I've played it for like 4 or 5 hours. I'm trying to learn it, and it's just not like reciprocating with me. But I will definitely, like, I'm not going to uninstall it. I'll definitely like give it a shot with all you guys and see if we can.
I mean, if you have,
there's also
I was just gonna say,
there's also the option to play in a world that's with just us.
Oh, okay.
But it says,
which I feel like might be more fun.
Yeah, so I feel like we won't, run into other people, and it might be easier that way. But also, something said like you won't get the same content, or like it'll be kind of gated. Yeah. So I mean, maybe that's the way to go, but I don't know.
We shall see.
Yeah, it's cool. I really want to get into it, but I think maybe we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Sure.
And the last thing I want to talk about today, gentlemen, PS Plus games coming. Sony has revealed February 2020's PlayStation Plus games. They include BioShock The Collection.
That's cool.
3 fantastic games.
Yeah. Bless you.
Nope.
Oh, that's the worst. I'm so sorry. 3 fantastic games. Yeah, like you don't own them yet, do you? So that'll be great.
Yeah.
The Sims 4, which cool, I guess.
Fine.
And then that VR game, Firewall 0 Hour, the one that the first person shooter or whatever. So those are a lot of great games for PS Plus.
BioShock for sure. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's gonna be dope.
Yeah, I can't wait to backlog them and never play them. That'll be sick.
Hey man, at least you'll own them.
That's right.
That's it.
Oh, gentlemen, anything else you want to add to that episode? No? All right.
Covered a lot.
We did cover a lot. That has been the 9th episode of Notes for Next Time. I want to thank you guys for watching, especially if you got to the end of the video. That really does mean a lot to us. We have fun here, but it's even more fun when you guys stick around. Join in on the comments below. Have a conversation with us. Talk to us. What do you like about the show? What do you want to see from the show, etc. And send in your topics, too. We have a Facebook page and a Twitter page. Send in your topics. Or rather ask us what you'd like to see on the show. And we'll be sure to talk to you.
Heck yeah.
So thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Mason.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Mike.
Have a lovely evening.
I hate you so much.